Hi, I'm Kristin Davis, and I want to know, are you a Charlotte? This is very exciting because I have the Oliver Hudson here with me.
The is important to put in front of my name. That's right.
Thank you for coming.
You're
It's so
welcome.
exciting, so
Happy
exciting.
to be here.
We rewatched 107, which is called The Monogamists, and I'm so happy that you're here because you are a straight guy who's been married a long time and you can shed some light, okay?
I can.
We need some help
Married
understanding.
18 years.
Impressive.
Yeah, together 23 or 24.
Unbelievable.
Crazy.
So I cannot wait to hear.
Yeah.
But I also want to just say, in case our viewers might not necessarily know, listeners, whichever we call them,
right.
yes, you were on And Just Like That.
I was.
And so part of the reason that I love Oliver and want him to be here is because he played a very, very cool character on
was
And
fun.
Just Like That. I was not there.
Yeah, I know. I didn't get
which
to work
I'm
with you.
kind of glad and kind of not.
I know.
Torn.
It was my first experience with an intimacy coordinator.
No way.
Yeah.
And what did you think?
I loved it.
Good.
Honestly, I really did.
I really like our intimacy coordinator.
It made things
Yeah.
really easy
Yeah.
and really great.
Yeah.
And, I was game for anything.
Of course
I just
you
said,
were.
Hey, you just tell me what to do, because I'm the guest star here. Like,
Nice.
whatever you're comfortable with, I'm comfortable
Nice,
with.
nice.
But it was great. I'd never done that
I'm glad.
before.
Yeah,
and I've had a
I've
lot
had-
of sex scenes in my life
I'm
where it's
sure.
kind of just, all right, just go.
Wacky, right? How it used
and
to be.
It's all worked out, but
Right.
to have it mapped out and planned out just
Well,
makes
because
it
there were
better.
three of you,
There were three of
it
us.
kind of needed to be.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny because the next episode is about threesomes in the original
really?
series, Sex and the City, the original season. Yeah. And so what a weird, coincidence. And it's still being, played out. Threesomes are a very interesting thing. But ours is not about that. But anyway, intimacy coordinators,
Yeah.
I've had good and bad since this new dawning of the intimacy coordinator.
You've had bad.
I have had bad. Ooh. I mean, it was one of my first times with one. And I think that's part of it is like you just, for us who've been around a long time, it was just, they'd say, which little tiny thing would you like to wear?
Yes.
And then, get in bed.
Yes.
And,
kinda-
let's get rid of the extra crew. And
Yeah.
that was about it,
Yep,
and
yep.
hopefully you were in tune with your co-star. That's
Yeah.
what it was about. And the director, but mostly your co-star, like an agreement and
Right.
like you
Are
felt
we good? Are we good
comfortable
with
and
this? Yeah.
kind of like, I think, caring about the other one for both sides,
100%.
men and women, right?
Yes.
So it was about that. But I did this indie and it was a very, very chaotic set. I'm not going to say what it was. I mean, a set where you couldn't trust anything going right or properly, professionally or whatever. And this woman who was the intimacy coordinator had been a dancer. So she would be like, I was working with another actor who I love very much, who's also a vet and totally trustworthy, like so protective and amazing.
Yep.
And she would say, okay, so you're going to kiss 3, 4, and then you're going to, we were like, what? Like, what?
Oh, she
and
took
then,
all the spontaneity out of it. As like,
yeah, and listen, I wanted to kiss this person.
Yeah.
No offense
Sure.
to anyone
Sure.
who might be listening, but
Right.
I mean, I
You're
was
excited.
like, you can go.
Right. Like, I have this.
Totally.
I have this handled.
Totally. But the thing that was great, and he also was super, professional and whatnot. And it all worked out. But the thing that we have learned with And Just Like That, because we have a lovely intimacy coordinator, it's more about like, she'll say, what are you worried about? What are you nervous about? And I'll watch the monitors and make sure that's not happening. So
Yeah.
it's like another set of eyes for you.
Yeah, it was great. I mean,
Yeah.
she was okay. How do you feel about putting your hand here and doing this? And I made a move, and Sada was like not cool with it. Totally sweet,
Right.
But it was sort of triggered them, and I was like, oh, this is okay, whatever. And that's
course.
when I became completely submissive, like a dog. I was on my back with my feet
I'm
and
sure
hands up,
everyone
being like,
was thrilled.
I'll do whatever you just tell me what to do. And
I think that
game.
was the right way to go.
Yeah.
I think that was the right way to go. Also, Michael Patrick has a lot of ideas.
Yes.
And you
He's
got to
great.
roll with
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it is. Do you know what I mean? I've learned my lessons over the years. Do not object and just find a way that you're going to be comfortable. So anyway, it can be great. But back in this day, we didn't have such things.
No, we did not.
No, we did not.
No, we
and the
did
thing
not.
that I really love, I mean, there's so many amazing things. And as we were saying earlier, I need to know, did you watch this back in the day? Like, what's your history with the show?
So my history with the show is that everyone talked about it. It was the show to watch. At the time, it was a show for women, honestly. And, my friend Alex actually was obsessed with the show.
Okay.
And we were like, what? Like, this is not your demographic. I don't understand. Right.
But he was ahead of his time.
He was. And, so I never really got into watching the show. Later on, I watched a couple, but it was not something that I got into. Now, at the time, I was not as much into TV as I am now.
Okay.
You know.
It was a different time.
It was a different time. Yeah. It was waiting every week to watch this
you
television
had
show.
To wait every week.
Yeah,
and you had to be there when it was
crazy.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. 9:00 Sunday night.
I will say, in watching this episode last night, first of all, so far ahead of its time, as far as how it was written, how comfortable everyone was in saying those things, and how it's just a pure reflection that we haven't ever seen before, with 4 women who are being intimate with each other and saying the things that they want to say. We had never really seen anything like that.
I know, it's funny to think about, because it's now, I feel like, and that's one of the things that I love about talking about it now, is to see what's changed and what hasn't. Because some things have changed, some things have not changed.
Right.
And one thing that I do think has changed is that people talk much more freely about sex and relationships.
Yes.
And I think partly because of social media, we have ways to talk about it.
Yeah.
And also, like, people go on red carpets, like, pretty much naked now.
Yeah.
And this was not the case back then.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So it was that, and it was so good.
Thank you.
It's so good. I was with my wife watching it last night, and I was like, I think I might start this now. This many years, ahead of time.
Yay.
It was just, it's good. The chemistry is so on point, and it's only 7 episodes in, so it can only get better and better.
I know, for sure it gets better, because in my mind, as I was telling you, I always thought that the first season was just like kind of a wash. Like, I just thought it was a mess. We didn't know what we were doing. We were all over the place. I remember Darren saying to us at different times, like, you guys have to be really funny, like, or really funny. He would like get his hands all agitated, and we'd be like, but is there more jokes, or you just want us to make what's
funnier,
there funnier? Like, what do you mean? And then sometimes he'd come down from upstairs. We were shooting in Silver Cup in New York at the time. He'd come down and he'd be like, everyone has to be sexier. You have to be sexier. And I'd be like, me? Are you sure? Because I don't. Now, it gets, Charlotte does some stuff that literally I had not remembered.
Right.
Like, I'm like, what? Because they were trying to figure her out, right? And so, like, on the one hand, she's saying, I want to get married. But on the other hand, she's doing a lot of, she's pretty game. Like, more so than I remember,
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Did your guys, was it immediate, your chemistry?
Yeah, we never even read together. We didn't have a chemistry read or anything.
But you guys got together, it was like, bang.
Yeah,
it was
clicked. Pretty much bang. And it was also, I think it was a couple things. Number one, everyone was so excited. Like, it was such an odd and unusual thing at the time. Like, I remember when I had gotten, because I knew Darren from Melrose Place, and he had sent me the script, and I've said this many times, sorry for anyone I'm repeating it, he'd sent me the script when Sarah Jessica had been unsure for Carrie, and I was like, I can't pull Carrie off, because Carrie was much more like Candace Bushnell, the original columnist, right?
Yeah.
A little bolder, smoked, swore a lot, very like, more like Samantha in a certain way. And I very clearly was like, no, I need to be that other one, that Charlotte one that doesn't do a lot. I need to be her, because she's more, I relate to her, because I grew up in the South, so I think that really informed Charlotte, even though she's not technically Southern. But it was so crazy to think of 4 women without lead men. Like, Big was present, but it wasn't clear that he was going to be this, really, really huge through line for her. It was just maybe going to be a season, or, who knows, right? Like, they had to kind of make that up once they leapt off in the way that we did. So it was really just the 4 of us and Sarah Jessica, and there was nothing like it at all.
Yeah.
And the idea that 4 women could lead a show that wasn't a soap opera. Like, yes, it was about relationships and sex, but it was also funny, and it was also shocking and brave in a way, brash and brave, back then.
Yeah.
That part was so thrilling that I think all of us were just like, we didn't even know each other at all. So when I talk to everyone, they tell me stuff that I didn't know about their beginning on the show, which is so interesting.
No, I know. Well, even watching it, just talking about the time that it was made, when the guy that you were with is trying to push you down to, like, give him a blowjob.
Ew, right?
Well, I mean, in 1996 or 7, it was funny and it was sort of strangely relatable, I guess.
Was it?
Well, not to me. I was a young man, but I'm saying you can't do that now.
Right?
In the context and the tone that it was done then.
Right.
It would be like, whoa, wait a minute.
This is what I need you for.
You did find your power and you're like,
definitely.
I'm gone.
Right?
But
it happens a lot.
The minute he did it in the first scene with you, I'm like, oh, well, she's gone.
Right?
I'm like, what is she still doing?
I'm like, oh my God, I don't even remember that.
And then it's like, I love you, I love her. There was like a...
Right. Right. But I also remember, and of course this is... I'm going to regret this, but I mean, it's not the first time that it had happened to me.
No, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%.
But it's also crazy to think about.
The beauty of it is that, but you're touching upon, the relatability of what women deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's the relatable part.
Yes.
And even for guys, it's shameful relatability potentially,
I mean,
right?
but also, let me just say, from a perspective of understanding the societal, pressures and whatever, I don't think anyone was telling you guys that was not cool.
No, of course not.
So I don't blame everybody.
You kind of have to, I don't know.
I mean, what do you think?
I would honestly, and I've had my share of women. I have never in my life even come close to doing anything like that because it's not my nature. There's a respect there, I guess, or it's like, it's almost leaves me speechless. It's beyond the way I can even think.
Well, because wouldn't you just want someone to be doing that? Do you know what I mean? It's not exciting to make someone
that's my sex life even right now with my wife. By the way, 25 years together, sex is still like unbelievably incredible.
Wow.
It goes from like 18 times a day when you're young, but it gets deeper and deeper and deeper as you get older.
Uh-huh.
And once, I think, especially for the man, and I've done a lot of work on myself. I've been to the Hoffman Institute to deal with my own shit. I mean, I've done some stuff. Vulnerability for men just generally is difficult.
Right.
Vulnerability with your significant other is even more difficult to be able to sort of even say the nice things. And for me, it was hard to even look at Aaron and say, I just want to tell you right now, unsolicited, that I love you. And like, I'm so just lucky that you're in my life. It was so nice. To say something like that makes me want to like hide. That's the feeling of like, oh my God, it's cringeworthy for me because it's so vulnerable.
Right.
I did a lot of work on myself with that. I was able to be more open and it changed the game for our sex life. Changed the game.
Amazing.
Because what happens is for men, a little note to men is we get, when we are open and vulnerable like that, there's a safety that comes from Aaron, let's just say now.
Right.
Which allows her to be more open and connected with sex.
Yeah.
Even though it's been a million years.
For sure, that's amazing.
So new doors are open, not just from like a dirty standpoint, which is always fun, but just from a
intimate,
connected place where we would have sex and be like, oh my God, like what is
That's
happening?
Amazing. That's the best kind.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Oh, yeah.
So I went off on a bit of a
I know, but
tangent.
it's so good because like one of the things I want to ask you about is a male perspective of Big here, because in this episode, which is super interesting to look back on, because Charlotte was always pro Big, but I'm looking back on this early season and being like, ew. Because Carrie is very connected and very open. We start the beginning of the episode and she's saying like, we're in the middle of New York, 7 million people. And it's that great shot where, real New Yorkers are walking in front of the camera. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And it looks so 70s now to our eyes now in 2025, right?
The clothes.
Right? All of the cars,
God,
everything.
Yeah.
So they're like so united within this crowd. And she's obviously, over the moon into it. And we assume he is too. And they're spending all their time together to the point where she hasn't seen the girlfriends at all. And we think she's, fallen off the cliff or whatever. And then cut to, he says he has a work dinner.
In the restaurant.
And we go out to dinner with her because she says, oh yeah, Big has a work dinner tonight, a work thing tonight. Let's go out to dinner. We go out to dinner and we see him in the corner having dinner with another woman, which I'm just like, he should have been out then.
Right.
Like, oh, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like, just because to me, I would feel that they were not in sync, that if I was in that relationship and I thought we were over the moon, not even talking to our friends level of connected, and then he's gone out with another woman, what the heck? Boo.
Yeah.
Out the door.
I guess.
What do you think?
Well, so here's the show specifically.
Yes.
He said he had a work dinner. So
right. A work thing, I think he said.
Thing.
Or dinner, yeah.
Now, there's a white lie there.
Boo.
Right? Okay. Take that away just for a second.
Okay.
Later on in the episode, not later on, but I love the way that scene was handled. And it's funny you're asking me about this because I took note of it. Where he wasn't caught. He didn't play it like he was caught.
That's true.
Which is
that was
Trap
interesting.
is an actor, by the way.
Yeah.
But he didn't play it like he was
That's
caught.
a good point. No, he didn't.
He's like, oh, hey, maybe a little uncomfortable, but hey, this is Bonnie or whatever her name is.
Ew.
But, and I just had this conversation with a friend in real life. Was there an established
there was not
situation? And there wasn't.
No,
and he
there was
said
not.
it where it's like, are we boyfriend, girlfriend?
Right.
Are we committed?
Right. There's not.
And so you can't just assume that one is committed and the other isn't. Even if you're getting the committed vibes, you still have to have the conversation.
For sure, but
You
let's
have
just talk
to.
emotionally. Yes, I agree with you, but emotionally, it would really hurt me to think that we were not on the same level. Like when she goes, oh, I didn't realize I was in these feelings by myself. Like
Yeah.
that's an upsetting feeling.
Sure, but then you have to take into account the reasons why he might not be.
Why?
Meaning there
Why
could
might
a
he not be?
Well, there could be a psychological thing. There could be something like he's been burned before. He's been hurt
Boo.
before. His parents have divorced.
I don't care.
He's a non-committal person. He's feeling love,
But let me ask you this.
he's feeling
Slow
love,
down,
but is
slow down
deflecting
the
with other
ideas.
women.
Okay. But let's say that he's a grown-up, right? He's not 25. He's not 30.
No.
He's a grown-up, okay? So she is obviously open to this in a way that he seems like he might not be. It's
Right.
unclear. It's unclear, right? Like when I'm watching it back, I'm thinking
Yeah.
to myself, Big is sending her so many mixed messages,
Mm-hmm.
like kind of from the get-go, and she just hangs in and, tries to figure it out. And she goes out with Miranda and she's overthinking it. But like, I completely relate to that. She's like, maybe, when he said, I missed you, babe, because then he calls her from his silly car phone, which is so adorable. And he says, like, I missed you, babe. This is right after she's seen him on the date with the other woman. Like, that's very mixed messages and confusing.
Is it manipulative? Yeah, but maybe do you think he really missed her? Do you
Yes,
think
I do.
Okay.
But then I'm like, why'd you go on that date? And why didn't you tell her? But this is my question that I didn't
because
get
we
to.
weren't committed.
I know, but
We never had the conversation. Like how do I know I don't know what you're doing, Maybe I have a fear that you're doing other things too, so I'm going to do these things.
Let me ask you this
There's
about
a psychology
the fear and
about
But let me ask you about the psychology of it, okay?
we don't know what
I
Mr.
get it.
Biggs
And listen,
passed
I
it.
am like number one annoyingly understanding of people's psychology.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, you cannot do their work for them. And so you need to know, are they going to do any work on this or are they not?
Sure.
And is this just the way it's going to be?
Well, yes. Once you get deeper into a relationship, yeah. But in the beginning stages, what we're watching, it's still a feel out process. Meaning, yes, they're together and there's feeling things, but it's stated in the show. We never had that conversation.
That's true. But if you spent like 8 days, I believe she said she hadn't seen us in 8 days,
Right.
the friends. If you spent 8 days holed up with a woman in your single past, would you not kind of feel like that was important?
Oh God, that just depends so much on the experience what those 8 days are.
What if it was
Obviously,
amazing? Because clearly for her, she feels it's amazing.
Here's the thing. I would definitely, when you're going down the path and you're starting to feel things and you're having some jealousies or you're like, where are we? I would never assume that other person is right on the same page, even if they're showing it, because we don't know why they're showing. I would rather have the conversation of, hey, I'm feeling you. I don't want to be with anyone else. I'm not putting any pressure on you, but I'm in this position now where I don't want to be with you if you are seeing other people. So we need to have this conversation.
Right, but I don't feel like men hardly ever bring that conversation up.
No. No, I mean, I guess not, right? I mean,
Right. No, they just wait for us. It's like a lot of pressure.
Of course.
Stressy.
I wait too. I mean, I've had 3 women in my life who I've loved. My high school sweetheart,
Oh,
who I still have so much love for. My girlfriend Vanessa for 3 years, and then my wife. And I've never dated anyone else.
Wow.
Meaning like 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, never. It was either let's have a good time or I'm feeling something.
Got it.
And it was hard for me to feel something because I was very particular.
okay.
But
I'm so glad it worked out.
Oh, it did. But all three women.
Amazing.
I never said I love you first. I made them say it because I was too scared.
Menfolk.
I was too scared. I didn't want to get rejected. I was too worried.
Let me ask you
I would
this.
say stuff like this, like, you know you love me, right? And I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, you love me. And they're like, I love you. And like, oh, good. I love you too.
Not only would you not say it first, you would
Prompt
make them
it,
say it
kind
first.
of, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good for them. Okay. Good for them.
I was too scared.
But that's kind of adorable.
I used adorable as a way to sort
get
of
what you wanted or needed.
Yeah, or needed,
But,
right?
okay,
Because
so
I
that-
wanted to say it, but I didn't want to say it and be like, oh, that's so cute, thank you, and then I'm gone.
So let me ask you this about big, because you're a guy and maybe you can understand this better than me, because I look back on it. And again, I think at the time, these thoughts never entered my mind. I was pro big, and I just think that's because we were used to this stuff.
Mm-hmm,
Do you know what I mean? Like aloof, confusing men were completely normal.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And we just had to figure out how to be with it,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
we had to adjust,
Yeah.
you know, which is what I see Carrie doing, right? Like,
But she does decide to
She
go out
does.
with him again.
oh, she, as we know, she will do that for years.
Yes, but I also think that if he had a wife or if he was in a real committed relationship with someone else, you know, then she would never do that.
No, it's confusing. It's not clearly right? Because like even the thing that I think is so interesting performance-wise is and obviously we're skipping over many things, but the thing that it's interesting to look at the beginning, then he calls her, then she's spinning around trying to make sense of what he said. Then she goes to this party with Justin Theroux, who we will get to in a second. And then she says to him, you know, come meet me here. He's putting his arms around me. Like she does her own kind of like, I'm going to play my game back, right? Which I totally understand. And then he does come, but they're at the wrong place. She's in the front, or she thinks she's in the front. He thinks he's in the front, which is so beautifully written, right? And then he's like, I was here. What do you want? Which is a lot like the last episode too, which we didn't make you rewatch. But he waits in front of the bar and she thinks he's not there. Like they have a lot of these kind of missed things, which I think is so real to life. You know, it's so close and everyone's trying, but you're so confused. Like, did they try? Did they not try? Did they try? Did they not try? Am I trying? Am I doing all the work? You know, it's confusing. But beautifully written. So he comes and he's like, I was over here waiting in the dark. She's like, I'm over here. And then she basically looks at him with those eyes, which I'm just like, how could anyone say no to her? Right. And she says, I just want to stand still with you. And then he kind of doesn't answer, but then he puts his arm around her and they look up at the moon. So his actions often are the thing that save the day, whereas he doesn't always say what she wants him to say. He's not forthcoming in a communicative way. But his actions kind of say, I want to be here.
Yeah, which is very male. You know?
Do you read into that like he wishes he could say more?
Probably.
And he's scared, or this is different for him, or I mean, what?
Probably different for him.
Okay.
This is how I would analyze that without knowing a lot, honestly.
I mean, none of us know a lot. This is the thing when you're watching. He's like an enigma. He's just a walking enigma,
No,
a charming enigma.
He's charming, and I guess you wonder, is he doing the same thing with other women?
Oh, I'm pretty sure that he is.
You know.
Because they go to that party, which I totally left out, where like this woman comes up and kisses him and says, where's my passport?
Where's
and
my
then
passport?
he introduces Carrie to another friend who says, oh, you must be Nicole or whatever it is. And she's like, no. You know, I'm just like, run.
Yeah. There's a lot of
now
that you're bringing it back up.
It's a lot.
There's like a million of them. We're like,
bad.
how many women did you sleep with? Or how many women are you?
Or are you sleeping with now?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Well, the other thing too is, you know, passport. That means they're flying out of the country.
Exactly.
So
and he goes, this is my friend that I traveled with. And she goes, internationally, I assume. I mean, it's just like irritating.
Yeah. But when there's a spark and there's something there, you want to follow through with it because he is not committed to you.
Officially.
Yes, he's dating other women. There's nothing wrong with that from a legal standpoint. There's nothing.
I know, it's just emotionally hard.
I understand.
I think.
No, I'm talking from a practical standpoint.
a practical standpoint.
He
Okay.
is not. Listen, he is not.
You mean
committed.
he's not breaking any agreements?
He's not.
I get it. It just feels emotionally like scary.
Well, that's why it's like, look, I like you. I know that you've got a passport girl. You've got this other girl. You got this. I want to continue this, but I can't if this is kind of the life that you're living and want to continue to living. If you want to focus on me and commit to that, then I'm down. Otherwise, like,
Right, but she doesn't really say that. And I mean, that is the other interesting part is I look at her, Carrie, and, I don't know how much this is me reading into it because, of course, I know Candace and I know the book and she had been quite the party girl herself, previously, right? And then I do think it's a bit of a change for her, right? And he had been quite big, is still, I guess, quite the big man about town, right? And he was based on a real person who was quite the man about town. And then they're kind of in some ways doing this, what will turn out to be a very long dance towards being monogamous with each other, but it takes a long time.
Yeah.
No, yes, it's also the show, right?
Sure, you got to play it out, right?
Yeah.
It's
and
like,
also,
like
if it was easy, what would we do?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Moonlighting was amazing, and then they
got
together.
Actually
sleep together, and
right.
you're like, the air's out of the balloon.
Right.
So the minute you put Big and her together, you're kind of like, no, I mean, yes, but no.
I know,
love
but
that
that's it's so hard to write that dance over time. And the fact that they did is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
And when I look back, I mean, yes, on some level, even just how they started, because they would just see each other at bars and parties and whatever and have that spark and then, but not really do anything. And then I'd forgotten all of that. Like they really were so skillful in a way that I didn't realize at the time.
Yeah.
But then also, I also look back and I think, oh my God, he's so withholding, even in the beginning. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
But she hangs in there. God love her.
But that's what makes it great. And love is irrational. Love is weird. Like you cannot plan it. You can't do anything. Like you have these feelings that you may not want, but you do. So what do you do with them? You just throw them away, or do you?
Well, see, this is the big question now, because I feel like now in social media, everyone's like, control this, don't do this. That person's the narcissist. Don't do that. Like there's a lot of efforts at control.
Yes.
But can you really control these things?
No,
I don't know.
Of course not.
Okay.
It's not possible.
Right.
There's always sacrifice. You're always going to be living with something.
Right.
I mean, in order to have a healthy long-term relationship, you're going to have to go through some real shit.
Right.
And it's work.
And you have to work on yourself.
Of course.
Correct?
It's both. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But some men, they just do not want to work on themselves.
I know. It's hard. It's hard.
It is hard.
Yeah.
No joke is hard. But it is interesting. It is interesting because I don't think, I mean, I have friends in relationships that are really good that I admire so much. And then I also have friends who aren't in relationships and who are just like confounded. And I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess it's just, I have friends, well, we're also at an age where it's not easy.
No.
It's like, I want love in my life. I don't want to die alone. But here's who I am now, and I have so much to give.
Right.
But now I have to match it up with a dude who's like on my level. I mean, it's a small window. It is.
I know. Not to scare anyone out there, but it does get increasingly challenging.
Yes.
To fit someone into the parameters.
I think you just have to, hope for it, manifest it in one way or another, and then be grateful for everything else in your life.
Absolutely.
And, understand that you cannot force these things.
Right.
And it's almost like...
Well, I think the dating apps gave the illusion that you could force those things.
Yes. And some people...
I have friends that it's worked out for.
100%.
Totally, which brings me to Justin Theroux.
Yeah.
So Justin Theroux is one of the... I think we only have two actors, and this is talking from the beginning of Sex and the City in 1997 to current and Just Like That times. We've had two actors play two different characters the show, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And Justin's one of them. And this first one is such a shock. Like I only vaguely remembered, I think Sarah Jessica and Matthew were friends with Justin from New York Ness. You know, I didn't know him. You know, I don't think I was there when they filmed. And then I do remember when he comes back, he changes his facial hair and he plays a writer.
Yeah.
It's very different. And I think it might have been the last season of Sex and the City.
Yeah.
But here he plays a kind of
my gosh, yeah.
frightening character that we've all probably met, which is like the writer of the moment, the cool dude.
Yeah.
And at one point she says something to him like, he's talking about all the great things that come from having a New York Times bestselling book. Yeah. And she goes, acting like an asshole and everyone thinking that you're great. And he's like, I love you.
That's what he says.
Come home with me.
Yeah,
like, it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And he's so good at playing this like kind of charming and kind of smarmy guy.
Yeah.
And then later he plays someone just fully opposite, but also still a writer, I think, which is also interesting.
He's great.
Justin can do a lot.
Well, I was telling you before we got on the air, he's doing a TV show with my sister right now.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, called Running Point.
I can't wait to watch it. I haven't seen it yet. I did not realize he was on there.
It's good. He plays the older brother, Kate's older brother.
Got it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And he's just so good and he's so talented. I mean, gosh,
so good,
as a writer
so talented.
and an actor.
I know, that's the other thing is that he was in some ways known as a writer then.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we kept casting him as one. Yeah, which I forgot.
I think he wrote Tropic Thunder. I mean, he's done some cool stuff.
Super
and
smart.
He's funny as hell, but also a great dramatic actor.
Oh my God, The Leftovers.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Leftovers.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just shouted into you guys' ears.
It was funny because he came on and again, I was watching with my wife, with Aaron. We're like, is that Justin
I know. He looks like he's 25.
He looks so young.
Right?
I'm like, wait a minute. And Aaron's like, no, it's not him. Like, I think
totally
it is.
Him. It's
and
100%
his voice,
him.
I was like, it's his voice. But I had to look it up.
No way.
I was not 100% sure.
I mean, this is 1998.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago.
I know.
But he's amazing. He's amazing.
No,
all right, let me look at my paper. I have to be like, I know it's a little scary.
Like,
and like, there's part of me where I'm like, yeah, you should go home with him. And I'm like, no. And then I'm like, yes. And then I'm like, no.
It's one of those things like, I don't know, would the sex be good with that guy?
It's funny
because he's almost so self-important. Like, does he only care about his own shit?
I think probably yes.
Yeah.
But I also think that he's Justin, so there is something that he's bringing that's not on the page that makes you think, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That character, though. Forget,
right.
It's like,
what's on the page is ick.
Yeah, that character is kind of like,
no.
Would he be good in bed?
No, I think he would. I'm not even going to say what I think he would do.
Yeah, you do. Yes, just say it. You just say it.
He would come in like 15 minutes and roll off you and go to sleep.
Right, or going back to
he would push your head down.
Right, push the head down, and then going, and then also at the table, you were talking about going down on, going down, blowjobs, and what was the line? Like, I only do it to get it or something.
Right. Miranda says, I only give head to get head. Which is a good line.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, it's a good line.
Right.
It's a good line.
So,
but I don't even know if that character would give.
I don't think.
Right.
Yeah,
he doesn't seem like a giver.
Unless he thinks he's so great at it that he's going to show you.
I don't like that.
And it's not even for you.
I don't
it's
like
almost
that.
for him to show. You know what I mean?
Women do not like that.
No, I know.
That's my personal feeling.
What?
You can tell when someone's doing it in a performative type of a way.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. Even going.
You know what I'm saying?
Now I remember my story I was telling when I was talking about Aaron and we're having great sex, right?
Tell me.
Just generally, I was leading up to something and then I forgot, but now I remember.
Tell me.
Because we had talked about something prior.
Yeah.
If she is not in the mood, if she doesn't want to, and is just doing it for charity, I'm out.
You can feel.
I don't want it. If she comes in like, babe, like, okay, do you want to have sex now? I'm like, no. This is not how I want to go about it. There has to be a connection there. There has to be a desire, a want.
This is why you're happily married.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There has to be.
Yeah.
Because I don't want charity.
Ick.
I don't want charity sex.
Gross. No.
Yeah. I want to go back to something really quickly.
Okay, and then I'm going to go back to the show.
Okay, really quickly. I know. You said.
I love it.
You
go
said
ahead.
15. You said he comes in 15 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Is that, you imply that that's a short amount of time. Can I address that for a second?
It was a random number.
I know, but
I get your point. It's not that short. It's relatively long, I guess.
Well,
of sex.
I'm just saying it was you. The implication for you was 15 minutes and then he's done and he's gone. And I'm thinking, oh Jesus, like I better not sleep with Chris. But I think.
Oh God, Jesus! This is going to be the headline.
Just for this, and then we'll get back into the show. But like, I just think there's this
How red am I right now? Oh Jesus!
There's a misconception with men, and correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not because of the 15-minute thing. That women want to have sex for hours. There's a misconception of that. And there's also a misconception that a woman wants a very huge penis.
Oh no, Oliver! Jesus Christ!
Oh, wait, this is not the tone of this podcast.
No, it can be.
Okay, I'm just saying.
It can be. Okay. Let's address both. Okay. So this is what I think about it. Now, I did try to talk to someone, I think Kristin Taylor last week. There's this weird vibe of the sex scenes in the whole first season where everyone is just like madly pawing at each other and kissing like crazy, like this weird heightened thing. And I'm like, why were we all doing that? Like, what is that about? You know what I'm saying? Like, whose idea of good sex is that?
Oh,
like,
yeah, even in the one I watched.
Yeah.
When someone's kissing Cynthia, that dude,
like,
I was like, what is he doing like right now?
100%. Yes, it is a whole through line of this weird, frenzied, ripping at the clothes. And I do think it was something that was happening in soap operas on TV at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of a TV thing. But I also can remember films, like when sex used to be in films, you know, where they would like rip the clothes off, which is so not realistic at all.
No one
and
does
to
that.
Me, not sexy.
Yeah.
Like, what I'm getting to
it's never
is
that animal. I mean, you can have that feeling, but it's never
getting some
like,
animal is good, right? But starting slow is so nice.
Yes.
And I think we're here. I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
The last person that I had any kind of relationship with, younger, at one point, you know how there's a lot of kissing in the beginning?
Yeah.
And then at one point he was like, yeah, that's too much kissing. I'm like, I was like, no, the kissing is really important, dude.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he was young, not very evolved or whatever. And he was like, no, I don't want to kiss like that. And I was like,
oh my God. The fact that you would even say that is
I know.
weird.
I was like, now it's going to be over.
Yeah, of course.
Because if I'm not going to get the good kissing, what am I here for?
No, I know. And it's funny you say that because with my wife, again, for a million years, the kissing kind of went away a little bit strangely. Well, because I'm not saying it's transactional sex in any way, but sometimes you got kids, you got this. I
get it, of course.
There's quickies. But, But, you know, you kind of forget.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you remind, like, we need to make out. So and then you make out, and it's
so good, right?
Oh, my God.
That's good that you felt that way. I'm glad. So for me, in terms of the 15 minutes situation, and I'm only speaking for myself because I really think it's important. I think our show tried to show this, but I think people forget, you know, there's different women who want different things. And this is fine. Just like there's different men who want different things, right?
Yeah.
And you have to figure out the person that you're with and whether you're into that. Like with Charlotte in this particular episode, apparently, which I had forgotten, Charlotte doesn't like to give blowjobs, which I think she gets over. Yeah. Okay? Because there's a scene.
I know. When I saw that, I'm like, oh man. I mean, that's sort of
it's kind of extreme.
I mean, I'm not saying that the guy pushing your head down is right.
That doesn't make it okay.
It's a bit of a deal killer.
I mean,
if I was with a woman and I'm falling in love and she goes, I do not give blowjobs. I hate it. I don't want it. I'm like, ooh, because that's intimate and that's fun. And I'm kind of like, wait, geez,
I get it.
Forever?
I get it. I get it.
I'm going to marry you and grow old with you and die with you without ever having a blowjob for 68 years? Like, that's a long time.
That is a very long time. Yeah. This is my feeling with it because I had not remembered the storyline at all. Cynthia had remembered that when that episode was happening, that Darren and Michael Patrick came to us independently, each one of us, and said, you know, how do you guys feel about blowjobs? Because we're trying to write this, but we realize that we're gay men and you guys are straight women. Can you share with us your thoughts? Yeah. Right? I had forgotten all of this.
God, they should have documented all this stuff. Behind the scenes stuff.
Well,
would have been amazing.
Knew?
Yeah.
Who knew? We were just like,
it'd be incredible.
You know, it was very intense. We didn't have that many days to shoot back then either. You know what I mean? We didn't think we would
be this iconic.
What we are. Thank
and
goodness,
so
I guess.
All the girls had to sort of explain.
I guess we all said our different things. And I know that I didn't say that I didn't like them because I wouldn't really say that. I might have said I don't like someone pushing my head down because definitely who likes that?
No.
Nobody, as far as I know. But I didn't remember that either. But I didn't also remember that Charlotte has this whole thing and very kind of adorably and with some
It was
strength,
sweet, yeah.
really thinks that he's going to be like, of course, that's fine.
Yeah.
No blowjobs is fine.
Yeah. Right.
You're that important
is
to
that
me.
a problem?
I know.
And you're like, yeah. It's all sweet and cute. You're like,
so
it's like,
sweet and cute.
I'm like, is that okay?
I'm like, I just don't like that. I just don't like that.
Right. And
I
he's
mean,
like,
what I think at the time, thinking back on it and also thinking about, she's had this huge development, which all people do, right? Which is what's the joy of still getting to play her all these many years later.
Yeah.
And she's this incredible relationship with Harry. And there is a scene in And Just Like That involving a prosthetic with a blowjob that she is 100% willing and initiates and into.
Yeah.
So thank God she got over whatever that was,
yes,
right? And
exactly.
I don't know
But
when
it's
we
also,
didn't deal with it.
But even it was a nice commentary, though.
It's super
Just generally
interesting.
in the episode that I watched, where I think Samantha's like, "Oh, I feel power."
Right.
You know,
no,
what
it's
I mean?
super fascinating
Yeah.
to think about the dynamics of that and the dynamics and talking about it from the female perspective, which I think is what hadn't been on screen before, and what people are surprised about is A, the openness, but B, the fully female perspective. Like, we don't even ask the dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like, Big is an enigma and we're just trying to figure it out, which is very much the female experience, right?
Yep.
And then Charlotte's like, well, I just don't like it. And when they have that scene at the the restaurant, and Carrie's like, don't do it if you don't like it.
Right.
It's so cute.
Right,
It's so cute, but also so important, because just the idea of being able to not do something that all the men want you to do is kind of revolutionary.
Of course.
But I mean, my thought, and I don't know what I thought at the time, my thought now would be like, what trauma did Charlotte have?
Right.
Charlotte, I mean, maybe it was all the men pushing her head down.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean,
like, if that's the general get-go.
Yes.
Which I do think, I mean, I probably couldn't count the number of men in my 20s that pushed my head down.
Yeah.
Probably couldn't count up how many that would be.
Right.
It would probably be everyone that I was ever involved with in my 20s. Which is really sad.
No, I know.
Like, how are you supposed to like that thing?
Kind of crazy.
I know. It is kind of crazy, but it's also so amazing now that we can even say that that's crazy.
Yeah.